history of the state of Texas has any college or university ever been placed in a conservatorship.
Yeah, we know that.
It's only been done twice in the country, only twice, and only one institution of those two came out of a conservatorship. And so all of the members, and most of the members of the Legislative Black Caucus are opposed to a conservatorship. We don't want to see that take place. And the arguments that they've been using is about the financial situation at TSU. So let me just, there's a lot of misinformation as it relates to Texas Southern, a lot of misinformation. We've got conservatorship, no one wants to advocate a conservatorship. If you're a student, if you're a faculty, if you're a friend of Texas Southern, a conservatorship is not, shouldn't be on the cards, on the table at all. It just does not work. With regards to the financial situation at Texas Southern, when Texas Southern ended the last academic year in 2006, in August, Texas Southern ended on a surplus. Okay, Texas Southern had a surplus. As of the end of March of this year, Texas Southern had a fund balance of right at $60 million. And based on the cash flow projections, we anticipated that Texas Southern would have been able to go through the rest of this academic year with the monies that they presently have. So when people say the institution is going to run out of money, that's
it's a lie.
That's just not the case.
It's a lie.
They first said it's going to run out of money in March, and then they say it's going to run out of money in May, and then that's just not happening. Okay? So that's that situation. There are three areas of concern at Texas Southern, not related to the financial day-to-day operation. One, of course, has to do with the parking garage. Okay, two brand new parking garages, closed, not being used. You got to pay for the parking garages. And I know they've talked to, they could one time about assessing a parking fee on the students. And normally, generally speaking, independent, hopefully they will explain to you about the parking fee and then can work out everything. That would take care of the parking garage and their costs. The other issue deals with construction overruns, about $4.2 million. It happens many times when buildings are built. You have a contract amount and you have construction overruns. That's nothing new. The third issue deals with the dormitories. Okay, those are the three issues as it relates to Texas Southern. But in terms of their monies, the fund balance as of March of this year was strong. The board itself, with respect to the board, you have one of the student board of regents that's standing right before me. We believe that their board members are in place enough to make a quorum at Texas Southern. I talked to two additional ones, two that have already resigned. Ernest Gibson, for example, and Harry Johnson, talked to them last night, and they are prepared to continue to serve until such time as they have a replacement. So it provides Texas Southern with a functioning board. And they have indicated that they are prepared to meet whenever the chairperson calls a meeting, that they will be there. And I think
the chair is Belinda Griffin.
Right. And I believe that there's a meeting scheduled for Monday. Okay? So you have a functioning board, and people have been saying there's not a quorum, but that issue has been addressed.
Okay.
So what is
what are we doing with conservatorship based on what
the recommendations that you guys are pushing
We are
for?
fighting a conservatorship. We are fighting it.
How?
I mean, what are the recommendations?
What's the alternative?
In order for a conservatorship to be put in place, what we call the Legislative Audit Committee, which is the Speaker in the Texas House and two other legislators, the Lieutenant Governor and two other senators have to meet, and there generally has to be a finding of gross fiscal mismanagement in order for a conservatorship to come in place. There's been no evidence presented of any gross fiscal mismanagement at Texas Southern. And when you look at the state auditor's report, the state auditor's office, there is no audit that has been done by the state auditor that points to any gross fiscal mismanagement at Texas Southern University. The only audit that's being conducted right now is being conducted by Texas Southern, by the firm of Deloitte & Touche. And that audit report has not been completed. So there's no evidence that's been presented to anyone of any gross fiscal mismanagement. And so on that basis, we believe there's no need for a conservatorship, and so we are fighting a conservatorship. But it's important for all voices to be raised, students, faculty, administrators, friends of Texas Southern and others, to speak very, very firm and very clear that you don't want a conservatorship. It's not in the best interest of Texas Southern, and everybody needs to be on the same page, saying the same thing, and not equivocating on that whatsoever. So we are fighting it.
Okay. And I know I'm not. Just the question is they said, well, reading and everything is pointing to that our representative, Black Caucus, is coming up with recommendations. What are the recommendations on the table right now that you guys have?
Well, with respect to the discussions that we've had, number one, we are adamantly opposed to a conservatorship. Okay, we oppose to that. With respect to the board, we believe that the governor needs to appoint new board members. Where there are vacancies, those vacancies need to be filled. No one needs to just be sitting, waiting